it must take a lot of research for you guys to find locations that you can take people.
As Joshua, he sleeps on that.
Joshua, you sleep on that. Do you do anything else?
Yeah. As I said previously, like, so if you think about it, like I've been around, I've been places within Scotland and outside Scotland as well. And one thing that I know for a fact is there are loads of beautiful places in Scotland, loads of beautiful places. And something you said earlier about the weather, because the weather could probably hinder you from going out to enjoy the outdoors. I don't think so, because I think, when you just get into it, you think that, but as soon as you start moving on, you quickly realize that there's no such thing as bad weather, it's only bad gear. So if you're putting on the wrong things, then the weather is definitely you're gonna be dealt with. But if you're wearing the right things, if you've got your gear right, and again, this is knowledge that, again, if you're just getting into that world, you don't know, you don't have that knowledge. And so someone like myself, someone like Enoch, we've been doing this for over 8-9 years. So we sort of understand what people need to wear, what people need to do, and stuff like that. And speaking of locations, to come back to your question, there are loads of beautiful places. Like, we've been going out for years and stuff. So when it comes to picking location, we just pick location for the crowd, really. We look at the people that have signed up. As Enoch said, 30 people signed up. And these people signed up within a week that we put this thing out. Like, oh, okay, we're going on this next trip. A lot of people didn't even know exactly where we're going, but they just trusted us. Like, if they are doing this, we know they've got us covered. And at the end of the day, it's really about the community. It's really about just getting people to interact better with nature. And it's not just those guys that are coming on this trip that will be impacted. They will go home, take that to their kids, they'll take that to their cousins, they'll take that to their sisters, aunties. And so again, we just get more people coming out, enjoying beautiful Scotland. And again,
so I suppose a part of the work that you have to do is to tell people what to wear.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Type of shoe and
type of shoes, type of.
So how do you prepare somebody in the first typical Scottish weather to go out? Because you never know what's going to happen.
And as Joshua said, around the gear. So to break this down a bit and put a bit of context and background. So as Joshua said, we've been doing this now for almost a decade, and we got to the point where we're like, a few people started getting interested in what we do, started taking a few people out, and then it just sort of grew organically to become BSA. And just last year, hope Joshua is okay with me sharing the story. Last year, we're thinking, 2022 is the year we're really gonna explore Scotland, like really go for it. But then we knew we had the limitations of gear, just as Joshua said. You've got to if you have the right gear, then it makes your life easier. So we decided that we just start saving up from last year and just start picking them up one by one. So this time last year, I didn't have a hiking boots, okay. Believe it or not. So I just went with trainers. But then at that point, we're thinking, start picking them up one by one, because these things can be, you can get the cheaper ones or you can get the more premium ones. But we thought, because we're going to be hiking a lot and we're going to be going out there a lot, we thought we'll get the more premium ones so they can last longer. So for example, Scotland is always wet. However, you can wear waterproof hiking shoes, and that solves your problem. You can step into muddy puddles and not worry about it. You can wear waterproof jackets, waterproof trousers, and that essentially removes the rain part of your problem straight away. You can carry waterproof bags, so basically you can waterproof yourself and have an amazing time out there in nature. And before every trip, Joshua especially goes through like, where are we going, and then based on that we then come up with a list of these are the things we think people need. Again, because we know we've got quite a good number of gear, a lot of these people are just starting out, so we try to just give them the basics to get through. And it worked the last time, so we're hoping that will just be. And over time, as the community grows, as people get into the spirit of it, people will start buying things as well.
Absolutely.
Already, there's that. Oh, I love that your top is waterproof. Okay, where did you get it from? Send the link, and then I think everything will just happen organically. Nothing will be pushed.
Yeah. Is the drive just specifically to the fact that, is it for a health purpose? Are you doing this professionally? I mean, Joshua, you're getting mentioned a lot of time by Enoch. Is that are you sort of like the outdoor, both of you? You've been doing this for almost 10 years, you say. Is this just the motivation behind that? Is that just for you to go out there, and is there any health benefit, or are you doing it preparing for some professional stuff?
Oh, okay. I think I get a question. Like, if you think about it, like, if you're in Scotland, if you're not out running off to Spain or one of these places, I did that for a long time, like, and that's why Enoch said for a long time we didn't even have like proper hiking shoes, because we call ourselves weekend hikers. We just wait till the last minute, check when the weather is good, and we go for it. So we don't plan in advance. We always try to like avoid like bad weather and things like that. But again, the experience you get out there is so different. When it's raining, it's different. When it's cloudy, it's different. When it's foggy, it's different. When it's snowing. So again, when someone like myself when I go out there, it's not just because I'm preparing for a competition, but this thing helps you generally. It just helps you. It makes you become a better person. It makes you more relaxed. It makes you, because again, like just the recent one we did with Keme, shout out to Keme, and Tony, shout out to Tony as well. We did it with them. It was their first time climbing in Monroe, and this is like
Monroe in Scotland. It's a mountain. That's what they
and this is over 1,000 meters. So you can imagine that them, and you can imagine what was needed for them to be able to get to that point. The kind of resilience, the kind of mental work that they needed to do, the barriers that they had to break through, and of course the kind of teamwork that we had to put in together. So team building, all of these things you can take again into your professional life, take again into your family life, and then you'll be able to implement these things in ways that it would just all rounder, it would definitely make you a better person. So if you ask me why I do it for the views, yes. But again, there's a bit of other things, or loads of other things, that would definitely make me a more complete person, if you get what I mean.
So you get some satisfaction with doing
absolutely,
it.
absolutely.
As an outdoor person.
Absolutely.
I mean, both of you look really fit guys, so I think you can climb a mountain. But I'm just wondering whether my weight, somebody that's probably have a size bigger than me, can they manage, or do you support people like that to be able to?
So I think it's different things for everyone, isn't it? So for example, the hike we went on about 3 weeks ago, that was about 460,
462 62
meters, meters or feet.
Meters,
and those that came on that hike were first-time hikers. They've not hiked before. They are your typical Africans. A lot of them just came to Scotland or to the UK for the first time to do their masters or anything, and they did it. And the reason why they were able to do it is that team spirit. Is you're among everybody. We're doing this together. It's a collective. So
the motivation is
there's that team spirit, isn't it? Where you're no longer feeling the pain. I mean, I have to be honest. When we started, a lot of people were struggling in the first few meters, and after a while, we all bonded. We're all strangers. We all met up that day. A lot of people were just meeting. Even myself and Joshua, were meeting a lot of people there for the first time. They just signed up online. So, and then within a minute, bonding started, and then it's a case of, let me pull you up. Okay, let me carry you, and then we all got to the top. So I don't think weight is really matter, and we went with different kinds of people. So not everybody was gym going or so. I think there's that. I mean, the team spirit side of it would make sure we keep going, and because we know what, I think to an extent, we know what people's ability will be. We know the community are a bunch of they are new to hiking, they are new to outdoors. So for example, the hike we went on just last weekend with Tony and Keme, we intentionally went as 4. We didn't go as 20 or 30 because we knew that group couldn't do that. So we cut these things based on people's ability. So if you think, oh, you know what, I'm probably not fit enough for a big hike or whatnot, there will still be something for you within the community to do. So it's not just hikes as well. There's just other activities. On May 14, we are not hiking. We're just going for a walk through should call it the forest.
The forest,
just a walk outdoors in nature.
The Hermitage Woodland Walk, and there you find waterfalls, you find beautiful things, like just things. You see massive trees that you probably never even seen before.
So it's not just hikes. So we need to move away from hikes. So BSA is not just about hiking the mountains. No, it's about let's enjoy the Scottish outdoors, and that has a big meaning. Doesn't it? It's not just mountains. We've got the locks.
I think it's a plausible initiative. Black Scottish adventurers. It's just the timing also is really good because the community is growing, and if some of us with with kids and family, and they're growing up here, they need to, you need to know the outdoor to tell them where they can go to.
Absolutely.
Because let them not spend their time with FIFA in their rooms and things like that. So, I think the next question I was going to ask is, I know the next adventure is coming up on the 14th. Yeah. So, what's the plan? What's the general plan for that? Maybe I have an idea, but I'm just asking. It's better for you people to say.
I was going to ask if you tell us, because you're part of it as well. You're coming as well. But
well, I know. You know what? I'm just thinking about. I'm glad that there's no hiking because I was
like, yes.
So I was just trying to keep that to myself, and I'm sure there's quite a few people that are coming to that hike, to this adventure, who are probably hoping as well. Because if I hike, I need to come down for a too big, massive bundle of. Pound of yam.
And I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something based on what you said, Judge.
Yes.
So, see, like, Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah.
So, someone does not wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna start climbing a mountain.
No.
So this thing, you probably pick it up bit by bit by bit. Like, I used to see people like wild swimming. So that's swimming in the lock, open, sometimes in the winter when the temperatures are like, when it's really, really cold. And I used to think, hell no, like there's no way I'll be doing that. But you know what? I've done so many things now. It's getting to that point where I'm like, there's more. There has to be more than this. And then just so this thing, it happens gradually. So it's not something that, so again, you could come on this walk and you'd be like, oh, that was nice. I enjoyed that. What would the hike be like? Like maybe just a little one. Let's try it. We try that. And then, is there more? Is there more? Is there more? And again, it's just challenging yourself. It depends on who you are. As I always say, there are two kind of people. So there are those that, for example, go on a challenge, be it hike, be it cycling, be it running, be it wild swimming or anything. They go on it. The first set of people may be like, you know what, I had a tough time today. I'm never doing that again. There are those. And then there are those that go on it and be like, I had a horrible time. It was so tough. It was so challenging. But you know what? What do I have to do to make sure next time I go, I don't suffer as much? I'm better prepared. And that's the thing. So where we are going this particular weekend, we're going to the Hermitage Woodland Walk. Is very, very beautiful. It's up in Perth. Oh my God! If you go to Perth in autumn, the colors of the trees, I love going there. I go there every autumn just because it's so beautiful. So the Hermitage Woodland Walk is a very, very beautiful place. You get this massive waterfall. So we walk around there, and then when we finish there, we'll go down to the Loch of the Lows. And this is a very beautiful loch as well. You can get to watch a beautiful sunset. I mean, around this loch and stuff. So on there, we're going to have some food, of course, because you can't take black people out without sorting their stomach.
That's what, the other day I asked Enoch, I said, is there going to be some food? So when I saw the list, I said, okay, at the end of the day, there is something to eat.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is not your sandwich. This is proper food. So again, like you come, we eat something. While we're doing that, we're getting the paddle boards out. People are going on the paddle board. We're well prepared. So we've got life jacket vest on. We've got a lot of things. So we know what we are doing, and we're preparing for the kind of people that are coming with us on these adventures. And again, we're looking out for their best interest, and hopefully they will learn something that they'll be able to take back home, and we will learn something as well. On this particular trip, it's not just black people, just so you know. We have people from different ethnic groups, ethnic backgrounds. And again, it's because they probably saw what we're doing and they're like, I'd like to get involved in that. That looks interesting. There's actually a Scottish lady that will be coming on the trip to teach us some Scottish dance as well. Okay. So it's not to give too much away. But yeah, there's so much going on. It's sounding
more exciting now.
There's so much going on. We've got Chinese folks coming along. We've got different folks, and it's a mixed bag. And we're really excited about it. They will come learn something. We will learn something from them as well. And personally, so I'm really.
I was just going to ask. You mentioned food. Is there the menu?
I can't give too much away, George. Like
you have to be in it.
You have to be in it.
It is no Gary. Don't pass the yam. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't give too much away.
With black folks, chicken.
I can't give too much away. Okay. I can't. There'll be vegetarians there as well, and there'll be vegans there as well.
We know that.
So one thing you need to know is you won't be disappointed. Let's put it this way: all the people, maybe not, or most of the people that came on the last adventure, most of them are coming to this.
Yeah.
So hopefully that tells you a story of how it goes.
Over 90%, I'll say.
Yeah, that's good.
That came on the first
I mean,
one.
yeah, just listening that, I remember when the idea, I came across the idea initially, and then you said 20 folks, and then now the numbers increase. So it shows that there's a positive thing that need to happen. The truth is, these are opportunities for all of us to be able to discover this country that we live in. Because one thing that I know that we always, most of us try to think is always like, consider that in the next 10 years time I will not be in this country. 30 years later you are there. So that kind of thinking, you discover that there are other people that have just traveled to this country and they know the country more than you.
People even travel to the country just to come discover the country.
Yeah.
So you have people from America spending so much money to come here, and then you are here. I remember going to visit my aunts. I remember going to visit my aunt in Ireland, and I went there. So like, she lives next to this beautiful beach. Like, it's empty. I'm not kidding you. No. It's empty. I went there in the summer and I was like, I was looking at the Google map to see where you live, and there's this lovely beach with a nice castle just on the beach next to you. I said, what? I don't know. And then I thought to myself, no, so we can't continue like this. Yes. We need to interact with the outdoors. And again, because everyone keeps talking about climate change, the environment and things like that. But if you don't interact with nature, if you don't interact with the environment you live in, then you won't know how best to take care of it. You won't be conscious of the things you're doing, be it you're in the fast fashion world where you're just constantly buying things you don't need, or you're constantly buying food, wasting food, and you're wasting water, or all these things. But if you're out there seeing these things for yourself, you'll be able to like understand exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it.
And if you look at it from the mental wellness side of it, George, we're out there. We'll probably be spending, for the May 14th trip, we'll all be maybe meeting around 8, 9, and we'll be together till about 5 p.m. So what's that, about 8, 9 hours, we'll all be together.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be meeting themselves for the first time. So it's really an opportunity for people to just, let things go. Distress, because the Hermitage is not a hike, but it's a long walk. So while you're walking, you're having conversations, you're picking something new. So if you think of it, 30 people just walking. As you're walking, along that walk, I'll chat to you for 5 minutes. Something happens, I chat to you or me. As I'm speaking to you, I'm picking something, I'm dropping something. We're picking and we're dropping. Yeah. And I think it definitely helps your mental health, because I personally, after going on a hike or one of these, outdoors adventure, I feel better. I feel better physically. I feel better mentally. My leg hurts for a few hours or days, but I feel better. You've got that. I don't know what is science or your oxytocin or whatever. That release of you feel good, and even my wife says it as well, that anytime I go out, I come back, I've got these new bounce, this new energy. So because a lot of us now, especially those coming to the country for the first time, you could easily very quickly get isolated.
Absolutely.
You come in, you go study, and then you go back to your room, and that's you. But then we're giving people an opportunity to not just enjoy the outdoors, but actually network with fellow humans that are progressive. People that are sort of outgoing, that want to just make the most of now, live in the moment, let's enjoy today. So definitely, and something as well, you said something around the next generation. So my son is 6 years old, and he's been the one went to the last time, 462 meters. He's been to that Ben Han. He's climbed Ben Han with us, and I've not taken him to any other ones, and he's been asking me when I'm going to climb mountain again. So already I'm exposing him to that. And by exposing him to that, I'm already hopefully building his physical well-being, building his mental well-being, because straight away he's thinking this is what you do. You go outdoors, you enjoy the outdoors. So as he grows up, he just thinks this is what you do, and the benefits to that are is endless.
Absolutely, and having a child that's growing up in the country, they should be able to see the beauty of the country. Absolutely. It doesn't end only in the city. So, do you assess fitness for everybody that joins, or you just say, okay, come along, as long as you volunteer to come along? Do you think about people ability before you act or before they approach?
I think it would be wrong for us not to. So we don't go to them and tell them to fill a questionnaire or anything, but we just look at the group we have, and we just sort of like quantify the energy within the group or amongst the group, and then we just take it from there. So again, like this trip we're currently doing, we're doing it this way, we're going on this particular one because we've assessed the group. Not that we're saying folks are weak on that group, in this group or anything. But again, you can't take someone one day from sitting on their couch and then take them up to go climb a mountain. So this thing is a journey. And then, you want folks to enjoy it as well. You want them to feel like, I'm actually getting something out of this. You want them to have a bit of like a sense of achievement, like, oh, I've done this. Oh, this is great. Like, there's one of the ladies that went on our previous trip, like, she said it was tough for her going up. But then when she got home, she said she swore off hiking, that she said she wasn't going to hike again. But then 2 days later, she was already saying, you know what? When is the next one? It's not that bad. And I think that just goes to show that, especially we Africans, like when we come here, like we Africans, we're really connected to the outdoors, like where we came from, wherever we came from.
But like, that's because the weather is better.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I said, so with the right gear, you'll be all right. And there are great companies out there that are like doing great work to actually produce the best things. Again, some of them are expensive, some of them are not so expensive. And hiking is an expensive man's sport, I must tell you. It's quite expensive because you have to get the shoes, get this, get that, and all that.
But you can get it over time.
You can get it over time.
You can get it over time. You don't have to have all the gears at the same time.
Exactly.
So I think because one of the things that Enoch was talking there, and he said, I mentioned about in terms of the, meeting new people, meeting new people. I think the networking aspect is a really big thing about this as well, isn't it? Because a lot of time people will come, as mentioned about isolation, people will come, find their own small hole, and then they stay inside for a long time. But if you can come to an adventure like this, a trip like this, you can meet new people that could also give you new ideas and things like that. Is that part really important in the networking part?
Yeah, I think it just happens naturally. I'll let Enoch take this one as well.
Okay, definitely. So, and that's why the way we plan what we do, it's intentional. So I'm sure you're aware, George, we've got a WhatsApp group. That was not an accident. There's a reason for that. And we try to keep that group active. Again, not an accident. There's a reason for that because already people are already making connections. And then we intentionally then pair people up. Again, it's an accident. People were trying to pair themselves up, and we broke that up, and we said, let's do the pairing because we intentionally want to pair people in a certain way to get that networking going. So strangers are going to be traveling together, but then what will be happening is on that journey, the conversations will kick off. So for the 1 hour drive or 2 hours drive, there will be that conversation, and then we'll get to the meeting point. We do a bit of exercise. Joshua gives us some stretching exercise. From then on, we start walking or hiking or whatever it is. Again, opportunity for people to start connecting. And then as you're connecting with people, you're then finding out, this person does this. Maybe while you're speaking to John will tell you, I've spoken to Tola, and Tola is a blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're looking for that person, you can then connect with them. So connection is really important, especially for we in the Black community in Scotland. It's more so important because what you find is we don't have that network. And we know one of the problems one of the challenges I found I faced personally when I first came to Scotland back in 2006 was there was no network. There was no BSA, there was no BPS, there was no Jambo Radio, there was none of these things. So really you're very isolated. So it's getting better now, and I believe BSA is going to be part of the driver of making that change. So I think BSA is just going to grow naturally, and as it grows, networks just naturally form, and then they'll now start forming, or we'll now start seeing networks being formed within the network. So maybe network of Glasgow people, network of Edinburgh, Midlothians. And
so how do you see this in the future? How do you see this working in terms of? There's so many benefits that you mentioned in terms of connecting with the nature, to understand as well the impact of climate change in nature, mental health, which is another thing. Going out for some physical exercise is also important for mental health, and then there's also the networking opportunity that you can connect with different people in different professions. But how do you see? If the membership of this goes to about 500 people, what are you going to do with them?
Should I?
Yeah, I can.
Is that something you thought about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What I'm going to say is, and the honest truth is, so we may say something different because we've actually never really discussed this. So myself and Joshua are brothers. We just go with the flow. And that's how our life has been. We just, if something feels good, we run with it. We don't, I mean, it's good to plan 5 years and whatnot, but right now, in the moment, we're getting people together. We're getting people to the outdoors. What will happen tomorrow? Where BSA will be tomorrow? What BSA will be doing tomorrow? We don't know. But one thing we know, based on what we've done in the past, is things will just happen naturally. Things will grow organically. So just as you said, you know, one day we're 20, next we're 30, and next thing we're 500. And then when that time comes, I'm sure we'll be in a place, or we'll be well set up to manage it, or to make the most of having a network of 500. And then maybe what we'll be doing, you know, we would have grown beyond what we're doing, because then we've got 500 people and whatnot. So the truth, or the answer from my point of view anyway, is no plans yet. We just let it grow organically, and then just see where life leads. I don't know what Joshua wants to add to that.
I think I've given it some thought, and I think since the main aim is, or the main goal is to get people out there, so it does not necessarily have to be led by myself, and it does not necessarily have to be led by Enoch. So again, if we have about 500 people, then we'll have the likes of, for example, Keme, that has been with us since the beginning. For example, he would have passed so much knowledge onto him, and then he would have passed on to someone else. So that way he can go off. If he's living in Glasgow at the time, he can go off and then just continue to take people out in Glasgow. If we've got John that is in Livingston, he can go out and then take people out in Livingston. So it does not necessarily have to be, Enoch has to be on top of it, or Josh has to be on top of it. As I said, it's a community. We are all coming together to sort of like just enjoy the outdoors. And I think that's the way it's going to work, and I think that's the best way for it as well. So more ideas can come in. People can come up with better ideas, perhaps even better than we've thought about.
I think it's a very good way to connect. But and I was going to ask him, I mean, from your first experience, you know, this is the second big one. And, you know, what sort of challenges, you know, you face with some of the participants? You know, have they been somebody like maybe walking very slow behind and needing too much help, or somebody just want to have a rest and then hold back the whole group? Do you find that in the group, or is not many people, or maybe everybody is fit? I don't know.
So we get that. We get that, and that's perfectly normal. To be honest with you, that's perfectly normal, because again, we are not trying to push people out of their comfort zone. We're not trying to carry people. We're trying to just hold their hands at the end of the day. And by holding people's hands is you supporting them, giving them the support and the tools that they need. So if someone is lagging behind, you go on to them. Are you okay? Do you need water? Do you need this? Do you need that? How can I help you? How can I support you? And then you're not just the only person with them. Some other people probably come by like, are you all right? Yeah, you can do this. And then again, that same spirit kicks in. As I said, there are loads of things that you will learn on a hike that is more beyond just the views and just the physical or the mental well-being. There's so much you can take away as well. So yeah, we've not really had to like be in that position, because again, we already assess the group and we already know what the group is going to be like. So we put things at the pace of the group. Like the last hike, actually, I should give credit to the last folks we went out with, because the last hike we did, so in my head, I'd already planned, okay, well, it's going to take us 2 hours to get to the top, and it took them just over an hour. So you see people telling you,
a lot of people are determined.
So you see people telling you, I'm tired, but they are not stopping. So they're telling you, I'm tired, but they are going. They push themselves, and I think it just goes to show. You understand? It just goes to show how much you can learn on these things, just the resilience, and I think I'll rest that case.
And also because the crowd we have currently, so we've not been pushing the idea on anyone. So it's been a pull rather than a push. So folks have just been coming to say, I'm interested, because what myself and Joshua have been doing, which maybe we've gotten very good at, is showcasing what we do. So, you know, Joshua has been showcasing his hiking and his adventure and his outdoors lifestyle on across different social media platforms, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Myself, I've been doing that as well. So what's then happened over time is people have been watching that and they've been thinking, oh, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. And then when we open it up and give people the opportunity that you can do this now, folks just jumped at it. So from that point of view, folks were coming with a willing heart. So there wasn't really, your question around, have we faced challenges or whatnot? So folks were just, whatever we say, they was like, yeah, because they're just thinking, these guys have been doing this for years. So whatever they say is gospel.
It's gospel.
So when we told them, this is the list of things to bring, they're like, okay, so there was no challenge or there was no back talk because they just thought they know what they're doing. And I guess because of who we are, I guess people respect us to the point that they just think these guys are going to take care of me. If they take me out into the mountains, they will look after me. And that was what we did on that day, on that last adventure.
And to add something as well, based on what you said, so loads of people, like as I said, when we started going out to the hills, we've been doing this for a long time. And I remember we'll go up, come down, we won't see any black person. Now, not like that's a bad thing, but it's just lack of representation. Like, come on, I'm sure there are some black people out there that like to go hiking.
When you travel from Africa for a very long distance, the last thing you want to do is to start climbing mountains.
But again, it's probably maybe that's just due to isolation, because I've spoken to some people that they said, oh, I've been to this place. It's my friends in uni that just said, let's just go for it, and we went. So again, it depends on. That's where the networking bit comes in, because if you have people around you, there's no way you would have heard of something or you would have tried something, but not necessarily even hiking. It could be cycling, it could be running, just anything that will benefit you physically and mentally. And I remember I never used to see anyone then. I'm like, man, definitely, I'm sure there are some people that are interested in this. So then I started thinking, you know what, I need to showcase, or we need to showcase what we do more. So then we started just making the videos of it. Whenever we go out, we take pictures of it, like just to say, oh, look, we're here. We came here, because you could be telling someone and they'll be like, you must be joking. Did you climb that mountain? and as well, like even when we're on the trail, when we're going up, and this is when we've had experience and we know what we're doing. When we're going up, people will just look at us and they'll start telling us things we know. You understand what I mean? Like, like if we're going up and they'll be asking you, like, do you have like crampons? Like, because it's snow up there. Are you sure you're going all the way to the top? And like, maybe they mean it in a good way, but after the first person tells you, the second person tells you, the third person tells you, start thinking, I know what I'm doing. You don't worry, I'm good. But it's kind of them to do that. But again, it's just lack of representation, because if they saw 50 of me doing this every day, then it's a normal thing that we do. It's not a situation. So to come back to the point, when we then started posting videos and all, people were already looking at this, and some of them already had the intention, like, oh, I want to do this, but they don't know anyone that does it. So it was just a natural thing, like, I want to go see a beautiful view in the mountain, especially with Instagram and social media. They've seen this thing, they're like, I want to go there. Maybe for the shots, or maybe just for the photo, but by the time they get to the top, they would have learned so much that the shots, it won't just be about the photo that they want to take anymore. It would be about so many other things that they've learned on that journey.
But that's a very good promotional tool system, mechanism as well, to promote them, Scottish outdoors and Scotland to a community and the world, because that's something that we're really missing. I think, gentlemen, listen, you guys are doing a wonderful job. By mobilizing people. This is a really wonderful approach. So my next question is, what should we expect in this trip that's coming up next week?
Oh, Joe.
I know you've mentioned about the menu. But I'm trying to... I think my question is, what sort of preparation should we make for those of us that are going to participate in this next adventure?
Yeah, I mean, we try to make these adventure, I mean, we can call it fun venture. So for example, the one we went on our last trip, so there was the hike, but the hike was just a very small part of the day, so we're up and down, I think by 12, and then what happened between 12 and 5 was fun all the way. So there was barbecue, so we made our barbecue by the loch or by the lake, but we call it loch in Scotland, and a very beautiful loch, very long loch, and then by having that loch in front of us what we then did was, we went there with some water sports gear. So there was paddling as well. So most people that came probably nobody that came had paddled before then. So it's those things you see on TV, you see people doing. So now you get a chance to paddle. So we were surprised, because when we were coming up with the paddle idea, myself and paddleboard idea, myself and Joshua were thinking, maybe me and you, or maybe one or two people paddle. However, at the end of the evening, most people had paddle, because sometimes you just think, this is probably the only time I'll get to do this, so why not just do it? So it's that go for it mentality. So there was paddling, and then there was just music, and there was just good vibes, and there was food as well. So that was what people got. On this next coming trip, let's put it this way, it's going to be better than that.
think there are some good teasers in there. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming in and discussing about this. So, Black Scottish Adventurers having the next trip on the 14th. Which is a Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, Saturday the 14th. So that should be good. Come along, have some fun, meet some new people.
Absolutely.
And we can you know, basically build a community of people that we can enjoy the outdoor, we can enjoy the this thing. What's the any special message?
Yeah, so what I'll say is for folks to just connect with us, to join us on this interesting journey, and to come expand their horizon as well. So you can connect with us on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is Black Scottish Adventurers, Black Scottish Adventurers, and on Instagram is Black Scottish Adventurers as well. And you can connect with myself, Tales by Josh. That's TALESBYJOSH. So it's Tales by Josh on Instagram. And link me up on LinkedIn as well. And then of course on what do you call that thing? TikTok.
No, you TikTok.
I'm on TikTok as well. Again, because I feel it's quite important for me to show as many people as possible what we are doing here.
Yeah.
Because as I said, so this year was the first time, I'll make this very quick. This year was the first time that I actually started my winter ascent to the mountain. I've never actually been to the mountain in the winter before because again, I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand. Even though I've been hiking for a long time, I knew winter was a different beast and I didn't know anyone that could take me up there. I didn't know any black person. So I searched Instagram. I messaged some folks like, yo, can you please just take me? I will just be behind you. I just need to just know that at least like you know what you're doing and I'm just going to imitate what you're doing.
Just follow
so
them.
folks didn't respond to me, not because I don't know if it's that they just ignored me or maybe they didn't see my message. I don't know. But eventually someone responded. His name is Joe Hunter Outdoors. That's his name. And he responded, and you should see the message I sent him. I was like, hi, I see you go on hiking. Is it okay for me to just come with you? And I'll be like maybe
like
10 steps. I was like, I'll be 10 steps behind you. I'm not going to bother you. And the guy was so kind and he was like, yeah, sure, come along. We'll be going with some other folks and stuff. And it took me on my first winter ascent. And since then, I've done loads. I just needed someone to just tell me, okay, this is what you do, that is what you do. I could go for a winter course, but I needed to like go with someone that I knew that had my best interest at heart. And he did that. And since then, just this year, myself and Enoch, we've blasted so many Monroes just this winter alone, and it's been the best experience because usually we'll probably travel to Switzerland to go enjoy the winter, but now I don't think that will be happening anymore. No. I think we'll just be going up to Glencoe and going up to this one.
Okay. So I'll take it that you people are more experienced now. You know,
definitely. There's still so much to learn. Of course, it's a journey. You continue to learn because the situation is different every time. But again, I think we're better prepared now than we ever were.
Okay. And that's good. But thank you. I think on that note, we thank you so much again, Enoch Adeyemi and Joshua Adeyemi, co-founders of Black Scottish Adventurers, and a wonderful idea. I think for those of you that want to subscribe or join in, you know the social media handles to go for. Black Scottish Adventurers is on Instagram. The other one on LinkedIn is
Black Scottish Adventure.
Yeah,
same.
Okay, so same. Yes. So
sorry, I know you're rounding up, but it's open to everyone across Scotland. So for the May 14th trip, for example, we've got people coming from Edinburgh, Glasgow, Falkirk, Livingston, and the surrounding area. So we try to make sure we can capture as many people as possible. So maybe you have a car or not, don't worry, you can still join. What we do is we pair people up based on those that drive and those that don't drive. So as long as you've got the wheel and you're in Scotland, just connect with us and we'll make sure you can join us on the adventure one way or the other.
So the prospect is share cars.
Yeah, absolutely. And you should please connect with Enoch as well on LinkedIn. Is Enoch Adeyemi on LinkedIn, and on Instagram as well is Up Classic. So give him a follow.
Instagram,
check out what he's doing. Up Classic.
You have a different name on Instagram.
Up Classic.
Up Classic.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good. I think your LinkedIn posts are quite inspiring as well. So that's quite good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, wonderful. You also have a YouTube channel.
I do.
What do you not do?
Folks need to see these things. These things need to be seen.
But I think your YouTube channel as well is also really good. It's quite important information to share when you explaining in terms of how people can spend their money. So it's a money saving idea. Tell us about it.
It's just essentially I created a platform, the YouTube platform, just to share ideas around how to be successful in the UK. Essentially, how do you live a successful life in the UK? And when I say success is relative.
Okay.
So when I say successful, I don't mean how to be a millionaire or a billionaire. No, is how can you live a full life in the UK? So, and that then cuts across financial success, physical, well-being success, mental health success, marital success as well. If that's something you're interested in, and it's just sharing ideas, because again, there is a big influx of people coming to Scotland currently and to the UK from Africa. Not sure why, and once they land in the country or in the land, there's this, they get this delusion of this was not what I was expecting. I thought I was going to be, to be rich tomorrow.
There's a lot of myth about.
So so it's to sort of share my story around. I came here at so time. These were the challenges I've been through, and this was how I overcame those challenges. This is where I am now, and these are some of the tips that if I'm sharing it with you now, it's better for you to know it now than 15 years from now. So for example, things like how to get a mortgage. Sometimes in the black community we think, it's for some people, or you need to get a certain amount of money. So it's just breaking down this myths around financial success, and also what I try to do, or what I'll be doing more of, is just showcasing people that have achieved a certain level of success in different areas of finance. So for example, the last video I shared was a video with a gentleman called Niyi Oludikwe. He came to the country in 2007, and now he's got 23 properties that he owns and he rents out. So he's providing very affordable and very well taken care of homes for people that need rental properties, and at the same time is building wealth for himself and his family. And that was an immigrant that came here a few years ago. So it's just sharing those stories to inspire people, to tell them, don't give up. Don't get weary. Just keep doing the right thing. Surround yourself with the right people, because the network, and this is where BSA comes in as well. Your network is really important. If you're surrounded by the right network, it's going to accelerate your growth. If you are surrounded by the wrong network, it's going to decelerate your growth. It's fact. So and that's what I do on the YouTube channel, and I try to share as much as possible.
Absolutely. I've watched it. So I think I like the idea as well. I think it would have been unfair for us to have this conversation on the radio without mentioning what you do on YouTube and the LinkedIn your LinkedIn profile as well that you post there, which is very, very, very encouraging.
Thank you very much.
I think that's one that's it's a very good mechanism to set up when you have different ways that engages people to mobilize them, and then people can benefit from all of these things. You have Joshua, you have a YouTube channel as well.
It's all about adventures on my YouTube channel.
Okay, it's all about adventure.
It's all about adventures.
So we in the next few years we're going to call Joshua the Adventurer.
Most likely. Yes, because I enjoy it.
Yes, no, that's good. It's good to see people with different interests, because as you said, I think the time that we arrived in this country, there were all different sort of things that we could not see. We did not take advantage of so many things.
That's very true.
And
Absolutely.
Just because you're not guided, you're not seeing anyone
lack of
doing
information.
it. Exactly. So it's a very different time as well. So it's good, and well done, guys. I think it's just to continue to for us to be able to mobilize people and build the community, as you said.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to this trip as well.
Yep, we're looking forward to having you, George.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
No problem. This is living. This is living.
This is absolutely living. Yeah.